Hey, and we're back with another segment of Worthy Reads. I am Finesse, and this is Embracing Expansion. Okay, so this is the segment where I share with you books that I've read along my journey, and today I'm super excited to share with you a very, I don't know. To me, it's something I am kind of like embarrassed about, but I'm gonna share with you anyway. I was gifted this book by my friend Erin, and it was the one of the best gifts I've received. Okay, I have really awesome friends, I have to say, because this is the second book that I was gifted by a friend, and I love this book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Suzanne Jeffers. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Suzanne Jeffers. This book is so freeing. Okay, let's start with children, my childhood. As children, we're conditioned, from we're fear conditioned, or fear-based conditioning happens a lot. There's a boogeyman. If you don't listen, he's gonna get you. Don't do that, you're gonna fall. Or if you do this, you're not gonna get this, or this is gonna happen. So much fear. We've been fear was kind of like a teaching tool for a lot of our parents, unfortunately. When they didn't want you to do something, they just made you afraid of it, and then you just like, I'm never doing that again. I remember the boogeyman. I remember sea monsters. I remember like Chucky regarding my dolls. I remember sea creatures. I remember like they would make creatures that are normal scary, like crabs or a shark or a fish or anything, to keep you away from certain things. So our parents did that a lot, and a lot of us have grown up with fears about so many things. And this book really helped me to release those fears of my childhood, as well as some fears that I have as an adult. I'll share with you a personal experience. When I was little, I remember my mom, like we were poor, okay, and my mom is kind of like, she didn't like to ask people because she didn't want people to. It's like everyone has that issue sometimes where they don't want to ask. They're like, I'll survive on my own, which is not good. But anyway, that's how my mom was. So she would send me to ask for something, for financial assistance from one of my aunts, and then when they'd meet up later in the future, they would bring it up one way or another. Be like, I gave it to her or whatever, and my mom would be like, I never asked her to ask you that, to ask you for any money. So I was being made to look like a liar because I was a child and whatever. So I always had the over my head that I was a liar growing up as a child, which I hated, which actually is why I hate liars and lies today. So in a weird way, it worked out for me. But lying, I believe, comes from a place of fear. Or some kinds of lying comes from a place of fear. A lot of things we do come from a place of fear. Like stealing. Stealing is I don't want to ask you, I'm afraid. It's either fear or ego, more or less. Okay? But what I'm trying to say is, I had so many fears. I had a fear of being called a liar. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Because of that situation, I was afraid of being called a liar, which maybe that's how I feel. Like I was afraid of being called a liar again. Like I hated it so much that I pride myself on just being honest, even if it hurt people's feelings. I would be honest because I don't want to be called a liar. So when I went to stay with my dad now, he would ask me not to do certain things that I would do anyway, because I didn't see anything wrong with them. And I remember him asking me, like he would ask me, I remember him telling me, don't go to this person's house. And then I would go to the person's house, and then he would ask me when I came back home, obviously, where did you come from? And I would say the name of the person whose house he told me not to go to. And he would be like, you're not even lying. And I remember him calling me crazy, or saying that I had a problem because I wouldn't lie. So it was so confusing for me as a child, because I'm being called a liar wrongfully on one side, and then I'm being questioned for not lying on the other, by another parent when I went to live with the other parent. So it was just, and I remember thinking, I just want to live, I just want to grow up and be on my own, to not have to answer to anybody, right? There were other fears. There were still other fears. I had a fear of the ocean. I still sort of do, because I can't really swim properly yet, but I decided to try to learn to swim, or to try to get familiar with the water, not be worried about, oh, I can't see there where my feet are, or there's too much space. These were my excuses, by the way. If I go under the water, I would not know which direction I'm going and whatever, or the water would change my direction while I'm underneath, or just different ideas of, we've induced by fear so much. Even when we make simple decisions, we it's hard for some of us to make decisions because of our fear of things not working out. We're like, should I take this loan? I want to take this car loan. That's what we want to buy, a car. We want to take a car loan. But we're like, I don't want to take the car loan because what if I can't, what if I don't, what if I can't make the payments? You have a job, you're good, you're steady, you got approved for the loan, but now you're like, I don't know if I should do it because what if I can't pay for it? Or, what if something, we think we have a way of going against ourselves, preventing our own progress just because of the what ifs that we think about. What if this doesn't work out? Or have you ever gone to someone, with an idea, right? And then the first thing they tell you when you're so excited about that idea, oh my gosh, I think I want to start a small business and blah, 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 blah. And then they just start telling you why it will not work out. Just making you fearful to go forward with your desire to start your company, or to do something, to do something different. Like, it is so important that in order to get away from that, we have to kind of detach ourselves from the opinions of other people, and we also have to stop thinking about why things won't work out. Because first of all, if it's an idea that you had, it means that you thought of it working out. When you first had that idea, the only reason you would have invested your energy enough into it to even voice it, is because your initial excitement about it was, it's gonna work out. And then you start talking to yourself, why this is not gonna work out, I don't have this and I don't have that. We just start discouraging our own selves through our fear of things not working out. The answer to this, the answer to any thought you have that comes from a place of fear, you never know until you try. And when you try, if it doesn't work out, are you really losing, or are you not learning and it doesn't work out? Maybe it's something that you could attempt in a different way. We're never losing, man. We're never ever losing. And as soon as we can adapt that mindset, which is what this book has done for me, like in my relationships, in my personal goals, like I just always try to fit. I'll give you I would be in the kitchen, or I would be driving. I'll use driving. I'll be driving, and then there would be this guy driving so slowly in front of me, and I'm pissed, man. I get pissed driving. I would get upset, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, this guy is just driving so slow. And I'd be like, oh, some of us have places to go. Just because you're off today doesn't mean everyone's off of work today, right? And then I started telling myself, because I thought of it from a different perspective, I'm like, what if I'm just being protected from something down the road? What if I'm just being protected from the possibility of an accident, There's always a reason. And because of that, because of having that perspective, I now realize that I'm always winning. I'm always winning. So if I try something and it doesn't work out, it's teaching me do I want to try this another way? If I pay attention to my process, I can weed out what didn't work out and figure out how to get it to work again. That's how inventions were made. Do you think the light bulb was invented in one go. I'm sure there were many attempts. The car, the fridge, the television, and they just constantly keep, even with improving on these appliances that we use. You think they all just get upgraded one time with one attempt? No. You have to go, it's about keep looking forward, keeping your vision forward, keep pushing forward. You know what you want, and you have to trust that that is what's going to happen. Now, we have to learn to let go of fear of failing, because failure is not a bad thing. Failure is still teaching you, failure is teaching you. I could open this book right now. Let me just see. I'm sure I've underlined something, and whatever I've underlined is what I'm going to read. Right. The less you need someone approval, the more you're able to love them. Look at people in your life as practice. The way you react to them allows you to see what you have to work on within yourself. Through them, you can practice letting go of inappropriate reactions and developing more responsible ways of behaving. So instead of wanting to throttle your loved ones when they give you a hard time, it's better to look at them as mirrors of what you still need to work on in terms of your personal growth. Okay? That is an example of we're always winning. It's all about perspective. The goal of expansion is really to change our perspective on things. And fear fuels so many things. We might be fearful of presenting our ideas to our family and friends because they will say whatever, but they may discourage us or what have you. But when you bring those ideas to your family and or your friends, how about you just bring it to them wanting their opinion? Because their opinion could teach you or maybe inspire you or give you advice on what not to do or what to do, A lot of the reactions and sometimes even lack of reactions we have is because of fear. Fear should not be a reason why you don't take another step. Fear should not be a reason why you decide I'm just gonna be comfortable here and do nothing. Comfort prevents progress. When we get out of our comfort zone, when we decide to go through that door, even if we don't know what's behind it, because we're not sure, we're afraid. Going through it, on the other side of fear is possibility. When you leap over fear, you open the door for many possibilities. This book has made me so just more willing to try new things and to fail at new things even, but mostly just to try. I don't try with the intention of failing, but if I do fail, I know that I can learn from the situation. That it makes me reflect especially when I fail, how could I have been better, or is there something else that I can do? What else could I have gotten from this? Is it teaching me what I want? Is it teaching me what I don't want? In order to get over fear, we have to kind of dissect fear. We have to, the thing we're afraid about, we have to we have to decide or to figure out why we're afraid of that. Where does the fear come from? Did it come from something someone said a long time ago? Did it come from something you experienced? And how likely is it that you're going to have the same outcome again? We have to move from the mindset of a victim to a creator. Nothing is happening to you, everything is happening for you. And just because of that, just knowing that, that you're always winning, because there is always something to learn from every situation. You're always learning. You're always learning. And you always have to have a mindset of, I'm doing this, what am I learning from this? Because learning is expanding. Expansion is learning. Expansion is growing. Expansion is figuring out new way to do things, figuring out things about yourself, whether it's something you cannot do anymore, or another way of doing it, or something new you can do, When you decide to go forward with anything, you have to know that you're winning. Don't guess, don't think. You have to know that you're winning. It's important that we can't let fear keep us back. We can't let fear prevent us from taking that next step. The truth is, we're not all psychics. We can't see the future. We just have to go forward trusting. We have to go forward in faith. And faith doesn't always, faith does not mean, when people talk about the faith of the size of a mustard seed, faith is literally not knowing how and when. Faith doesn't mean knowing how or when. Faith just means knowing what and going forward in your what and your why. Why am I doing this? What do I want and why do I want it? The hows and the whens, faith, that's up to spirit, you know. So we have to make our conscious efforts not to prevent ourselves from going forward or taking next steps because of fear. And another thing, even notice I spoke about people deterring us from going forward. We are sometimes our own deterrent because of the things we tell ourselves. So it's important that we change the way we speak to ourselves. You know, we have to quiet the chatterbox in our minds. The voice that says, don't do that, something might happen, or this might not work out. And it might not work out, but I'm still learning, you know? It may not work out, but here I am, I'm still learning, you know? So, guys, this book it's not a very big book. It has how many pages? Let me see. It has 200 pages, is it? 211 pages. Okay, 200 and... sorry. It has 214 pages. And it's not like really tiny print. It's a good size print, right? So this book is so amazing. Feel the fear and do it anyway. It's not asking you to, feeling the fear shouldn't prevent you from doing stuff. You don't have to always be brave. You don't have to always go forward being like, I can do this, I can do that. I remember watching this race in the Olympics recently where this guy was like, he was, I don't know, I think he was Jamaican or something, or from the United States. And he was hyping up himself, you know, ready to do this race. And he was taken off in a wheelchair. Do you think he failed? Because I don't think he failed. I feel like he had confidence, as you should. Some of us were probably laughing. Some of us were probably like, look at all what he said and he failed. No, but he went forward in confidence and he didn't lose. That experience taught him something. And sometimes we don't always realize what we're being taught consciously in a situation, but we apply it subconsciously. We just apply it. You know, maybe the next time around he'll be like, I'm just gonna do what I have to do, or he'll cheer people on, or, you know, it probably taught him, it could have taught him an array of lessons, an array of different, you know, ways to move forward with his race, whether it's before or after or whatever, his preparation or anything, you know. So we have to always be willing to learn, and that is how you kind of defeat or overcome fear, by being open to learning and acknowledging that you're always winning because you're always learning. Always learning means always winning. Always learning, always winning. There are no losses. And fear should not be a reason why you're not taking that next step. Fear usually is because we're going to lose something. But as soon as you understand that you're always winning because you're always learning, there's nothing to lose, okay? So feel the fear and do it anyway. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I challenge you this week to do something that you may not be frightened about it, but something that you've wanted to do, but you're worried about it not working out, or something that you're afraid of. I was afraid of the water. I have so many things that I have been working on, so many fears. The water, what else? I wanted to learn to skate. I'm doing that now. I'm afraid of heights, but I can now look over without feeling that I'm falling over, because every time I see something that is tall, like if I go in a building and I have to look down, I look down, but I look down looking to see beauty, not thinking that I'm gonna fall. So I guess I changed my perspective on it too. Alright? And you can too. Just change your perspective. You're always winning. There are no losses because you're always learning. So feel the fear and do it anyway.